So hello everyone, welcome to Satsang. Let's make some silence first. As I close my eyes towards silence, nothing else matters. Nothing important enough to entertain in the mind. As these same eyes open up again, nothing matters. Nothing worthwhile entertaining in the mind. So good morning once again. Just reminding everyone that we use WhatsApp as a means of communication. You can send your questions, they come directly to me. I will answer your question now. Is it okay to go to another teacher while one as a guru? I'm physically apart from my guru and I have met with another teacher in my country. She says she's also my guru. Even though I feel to go their meetings, etc. for some time, I can't and won't accept any other teacher in my heart. I already gave my heart. I don't know if it is a test or is it okay to go to another teacher for some time? And should we do what we are told to do, like zikir, I don't know what that means, chanting, which was given? Because even though I go there and I feel to do so, I can't accept her authority presently. Thank you. Accepting authority. Well, so your question raises a lot of issues from different perspectives. Is it okay to go to another teacher while one as a guru? What does this mean, having a guru? First of all, what does this mean for you? This is very important. And first of all, it's not about okay or not okay. It's not about that. But what is the point of having a guru? What does it means to have a guru? This question is by far much more important, because finding one's guru is a rarest blessing in many ways. Not only finding it, but to be able to be with it, to recognize it. It's complicated. And it's complicated because of the weakness in seekers nowadays, many weaknesses, many dependencies. It's complicated. And the meaning of having a guru, what does this mean? Because if the guru is the path towards one's liberation, it is even more precious than oxygen itself. So why the distance is there to begin with? So is it okay? This question is so you found your guru, and then you're going after this teacher, that teacher, and all of that. And so what is the seriousness of your purpose? Because the guru is the pathway to liberation. So the more you tune with your guru, the more close you are with your guru, the more chances you have. The guru is there not to teach you or to direct you. He's there to offer you the opportunity to surrender yourself fully and completely. The teaching, the orientation, this and that, this is just an excuse, circumstances to allow for the real thing to happen. And you're maintaining a distance, and at the same time going to another one which is not your guru. So you say, if the other one is say, I will not make any comments about that, because the seeker makes the guru. It is your heart that has to recognize it. And then your mind has to surrender to it. So, but there's a purpose. It's like you made a lot of sacrifices to buy a car because the distance to the places you need to go is very big. But then you keep it in the garage and you don't use it. So what's the point of the car? So if spirituality is just an entertainment, so yeah, whatever. Oh, I have a guru. Oh, I have a soccer team of preference. And I have this teacher and I see this satsang and that satsang. It doesn't really make a difference because, well, the level of intensity is very low. Because when things are serious, finding one's guru is very difficult. These days, for the majority, it just seems, oh, I watch this satsang, that satsang, and the one that pleases me better, good, I'll take it. But it really doesn't work like that. When the process is alive, of course. And it's a strong sentence to say, I've given my heart. So, and if this was made, what is the purpose of that? Because, well, you know where your guru is, but you're not with your guru. So, in what sense are you using your life? Not for liberation. Then what is it for? And why are you entertaining? Because you're going to a place. So let's look at this perspective. So you're looking into a place and you feel that you have to go, but at the same time, you don't want to accept what's being given. First, you found your guru, you have given your heart to that guru. Fine, beautiful. But then you went back to your place, whatever that means, and nothing much into that relationship. Because if you're intensely engaged in your spiritual work, you will have needs. And this constant contact with your guru, it is very important. And the only big test that comes to the one who has found this guru is how to make it possible to be continuous, close to the guru. And if this is not there, this willingness, this desire, so probably this has some other meaning than liberation in itself. So this is part one. Part two, you had your guru, you surrendered to it, give your heart using your words. Then you went home. Now you're going to another place because you feel that you have to go to that other place. But at the same time, you're not accepting what is there. But still, you still want to go there. You feel that you need to go there. So what is happening here? First example, you found your guru, but you're not surrendering, you're not dedicating your life to him. So you gave your heart, but everyone parts their ways and no connection, more or less. So distance. Example number two, you go to that teacher because you feel you have to go there, but you're not accepting what is being given to you. So why are you there? So either you believe that you need to be there and you take what is there, or you don't. And what's the point of being there? So these are considerations that, if you're asking the question, it is important for you to evaluate. Because what's common in these two situations is you're not being touched by any of this. And this deeper work, because if there was intense spiritual work happening, you would be thirsty and you would be looking. If you cannot reach, first, if you have a guru and you have given your heart, as you said, okay, you've given your heart. Well, in your own best interest, give your mind, give your body, give everything you have. Because if it is there, if that is the compass, that's where you have to be. And if you're not, there's no point in having a guru. So this would be the first one. So you are physically distant. Reduce that distance. Make everything in your power to change that. That would be the first. So in the second example, if you feel that you have to be there, then take what is there. But what is there? Is it right for you? Is it wrong for you? Well, in the first instance, you're wrong for both of them. So correct that first. Correct that first, and then it will be clear. Because more or less what can be observed is there's a lot of questions, but real spiritual work is missing, because if it was there, it would be clear if that one that you're going, if it is taking you somewhere, if you're running away from the other or running away from that one, what is happening? It would be clear. But in the absence of that, only these questions remain. And these days, people just go this satsang, that satsang, this teacher, that teacher, and they go nowhere. They go everywhere, they go nowhere. No compromise, no deep work. And when this deep work starts, the needs change, and it becomes very different from only these needs at the mental level, for example, or to hear a little bit of this. No, because the need increases a lot, and just a few drops, they are meaningless. So these questions, they come because the most important part is missing. And spiritual practice and the relationship with the Guru, it's not about authority, it's about love. Well, this can create a lot of confusion. There's authority also, but it's love-based. It is based on that commitment in the heart. And it's not about accepting the... You see, when things are not in the right place, it gets confused, because it's not about accepting or rejecting someone's authority. It's about being thirsty for that guidance, for that direction, and absorb it as it comes. But you have to be in the right place. And how can you be in the right place? How do you know how you're in the right place? Well, doubts are always there. They are apart in a way. But from here, the heart doesn't have any doubts. But saying, oh, I gave my heart to that person. So in a worldly love, in a worldly romance, someone says, look, yes, I love you, I'll give you my heart. And bye-bye, see you later, I'll see you next year, I'll come here, and let's see how you have taken care of my heart. It really doesn't work like that. Someone who says, I give you my heart, they want to be close. So it is the same. And it's not because of it is a powerful force. Love, it's a powerful force. But it's not only that, because the thirst which is behind impels to be close. And the challenge that comes through that is to make the level best to be close, to try whatever is there. And surely to be close to your Guru, you will have to leave many things behind. These are the first tests. So getting close and remaining there, it's the first challenge. Then persist in being there, that is the what comes next. And then there's more, on and on and on. But you gave your heart and things don't continue. Either it is not your guru, because and the depths of your practice, they are not very meaningful. It's more superficial, and then, well, it doesn't even count. Okay, you have a guru, nice, and you continue your life, and you go to this teacher, that teacher, fine, no problem. But if the thirst is there, if the intensity is there, then the guru is not it's not a teacher. It is not. It is the end of the road. So you found it, you gave your heart, then you make whatever is possible to be close. And by trying to do this, it doesn't matter if you succeed or not. Because when the seeker is sincere, what he needs will come. But sincerity has to be there. And of course, everybody says, I'm sincere, but in practical terms, it doesn't really work like that. But eventually, sometimes it can take some time, but it finds a way. There's no impediments. Absolutely no impediments. They just appear to be. But eventually, things get solved, and sometimes even they appear to be in a miraculous way. So that would be in a normal situation. Oh, I found my guru, I give my heart, okay. So then I give the rest, and this is my path to liberation. It is liberation. So this is where I need to be, period. And this will bring the circumstances for you to work, your attachments, your delusions, and all these things. And this is how it goes. In the absence of this, it's like there's an empty space. And for you not to deal with that empty space, you need to put some things in there to make it less empty. But it doesn't make a difference. So you've given your heart, but you're not going there. You're not giving your heart to this one, but you're going there. So are you looking for truth, or are you running away from it? Look, it's not just you, but majority of seekers spend their life running away from truth. In spiritual contexts, it doesn't matter. Not going deep enough. Not going deep enough. And being guided by their minds. For what they think it's right, for what they think it's wrong. So that teacher is saying, well, if it's a teacher, wait, let me see if it's teacher that it is written. Yes, another teacher, another. So it means your guru is a teacher. So the teacher is not a guru. But teacher is very, it's best because it doesn't seem so much. Sometimes this teacher word, most of the times these days, especially in the West, it is far better for the arrogant perspective to deal with a teacher than a guru, because a guru brings surrender, brings importance. And teacher is more, then I can fit better there. It doesn't overshadow my little fragile ego. So even these words, they are misused or out of place. Not sure. But So the spiritual practice, doing chantings and all of this, that's important, yes, but it's a, a grain of salt. It's much bigger than that. Much bigger than that. Much, much bigger than that. So the seriousness, the commitment, they have to be there. And when they are, things change dramatically. Many of you are just running away from truth, running away from real spirituality, from real spiritual work. And you do this not in worldly environments, but in spiritual environments, because there's a part of you that has the calling. So if you would abstract yourself completely from spiritual environments, then you wouldn't get the impression that you're doing what it takes. It would be more difficult to fool yourself. But in spiritual grounds, it's more easy. But I'm doing something. There's this impression that you're doing something. But it's very shallow. Compared to worldly people, it may be a lot, but it's very shallow. And it's very interesting to say, oh, I've given my heart, but then the rest is not following. So what is the meaning of this? What's the importance, the relevance? Well, if we look at it, I will repeat myself again, maybe in a different way, but you're given that heart to that one which is far away. So no interaction or very few interaction. And interaction has different meanings. And you're going to this one which is close and you don't accept. So there's distance from both and you get preserved in the process. It doesn't matter what are the excuses, the circumstances. It matters is what really happens. You're giving yourself to that one which is far away, not going there, and rejecting the one who is near and going there. So if we look at self-preservation, from the self-preservation perspective, it is here, clear, in a very clear manner. You're getting preserved in both situations. And you may have a spiritual practice, but when you find your guru, and from what I see, you may even not know if you have found your guru. The level of maturity that has, you cannot be sure. Because when it is mature, the thirst, the need to be close, it is very strong. Sometimes it is the guru, but you're not mature enough, and it will come. But having found it, gave it your heart, this means something. And it's the beginning of a journey, not the end of it. It's the beginning. And this opens a lot of things. So the sadhana, the spiritual practice that comes with it, it's the guru that gives, but that's in a bigger context. And if you have many other things that you need to do, so what's the point of having a guru? So all these things that you're dealing with, they come because things are not going in the direction that they should. They are not being tested. Too much distraction with many other things. And at that level, it's more or less irrelevant. Your life can and should be 100% dedicated to your liberation. And of course, if you had a life where you were devoting yourself to many other accomplishments, when you know this, that should be a 100%, you cannot see it because there's dependencies, there were the structures that were there previously with other intents, with other motivations, and well, we cannot say that you cannot change this overnight, but you can. But okay, so it may take a while, depending on your fragility, fears, and all of that. But eventually, if your motivations change, the rest also change, because nothing is random. People say, oh, do I have to change my life? But your life was there for specific reasons. It's not random. You had your friends because you were looking for certain things from those types of friends, those types of people. You had this job because you needed that for supporting other things that you desired. And if these things change, what is the point of that being there? And this is a common mistake, not a mistake. It's not innocent, of course. So I'll change my motivations, but I'll preserve my life because I'm attached to it. Not attached to it, I'm still attached to the same fruits, even if I know better that this is nothing, and liberation is everything. Somewhere in the back of my mind, liberation still means the realization of those goals, worldly goals, the goals that will complete what I think I am. And this needs to be cut down, and it takes time, a lot of work, dedication. So if you found your guru, and the desire to be close, to surrender to him, to be there, close, if it's not there, well, okay, you have a guru, congratulations. You could have herpes, for example, but so when things become serious, is different, is a lot different. So my advice to you is to reflect on these observations if you feel suited, to close yourself in yourself, to intensify your spiritual practices, and to see what is the meaning of having a guru, what is the thirst, what is your call for liberation. And if it's serious, then you need to have a completely different outlook towards that, because clock is ticking, tick tock, and it goes very fast. It takes a very long time for a person to wake up for liberation, for the concept of liberation. And then time flies. There's no guarantees absolutely whatsoever that you'll be successful in this one. So for the lazy one, this says, oh, no guarantees, maybe I won't succeed, I will just enjoy what's here. Well, that's not a Seeker of Truth in my book, so no problem. The Seeker of Truth looks at this same concept, and he He feels an urgency. Oh, I have to make the best out of this time that I have. So if I don't succeed in the next one, I will be closer. Because then the next one takes time again until I get conscious about the concept of liberation. And there are many seekers that aspire for a better next life so they can have better conditions. But these conditions that they imagine, they are naive. But if you really want better conditions afterwards, do the best you have with these ones. Use them as, it's not a next life that comes, it's death and forgetfulness. It is more time away from the source. I will answer your question now. So this is a question concerning one of the posts that were done. So the question is, the main thing is to keep the focus on the divine whatever we do in the illusion. But I'm not sure I understood your message where it points. It's important to understand the message. There was a previous question. What is importance is our focus on the divine regardless of the situation. It's about a post, I will read it here. For what illusion is concerned, the less time you use in awakening, the better. Yes. What does this mean? Let's start little by little. I often hear people say, oh, I want to meditate, I want to grow spiritually so that I understand what is the purpose of my life, what's my mission. And immediately as they say this, they have nothing. Because despite there is the perspective of many infinite things to be done here, there's only one, and that is liberation. And as you lose the interest or conquer the interest, the lack of interest in all these things that come to take your time, this is direction towards liberation. The more you engage and give importance, the more entangled you are and away from liberation. But what are these things that are here apparently for you to do? What is the importance in it? Well, let's look at people. Everybody has this idea, almost everybody, it's more or less inbuilt, that I'm taking care of my life, I'm taking care of my relatives, my loved ones, I'm taking care of a lot of things, I have to do this or that, or else something happens, and if I don't do it, tragedy will occur. And tomorrow they're dead. They're dead. They die. And as for their consideration, this is a different subject. But from those who are around, from the perspective of those who are around, they see, like themselves, these people saying these things, and then they die. And well, the world doesn't end. And other people that were depending on that one will find someone else to depend to, or they will become independent. Something will happen. The world rearranges itself. It was here prior to your arrival, whatever that means. Will be here after your departure, whatever that means also. So it takes care of itself. So you're being entangled in it. This is your delusion. And whatever is coming as an urgency or just a seduction, mild one, whatever, to entice your curiosity, your importance, is just there to distract you. That's the only thing. Nothing else. So whatever time you use giving importance to these structures, the better what concerns illusion, because illusion is quite alive. It's not random, it's not dead. It's not like a shovel that you leave on the ground, and if you're not going there, again, if you don't pick it up, it stays there. It's quite alive. And for those who have tried a little bit more, they can see these forces interacting to disturb your spiritual practices. And the more serious you are, the better you will see this, the more clearly you will see this. Everything is quite alive. There's nothing innocent there. So let's continue the post. It doesn't matter if you're distracted with illusion, investing in illusion, convinced that it will lead you somewhere, to some goal, to some realization. It doesn't matter if you are depressed, if you don't believe in anything else, and you just lie in a corner. It doesn't matter if you are engaged in spirituality, in spiritual practices, this and that, and just joining and going around from place to place. It doesn't matter any of that. What really matters is that you use the less time or no time for real spiritual practice. This is what matters. So in what illusion is concerned, if your pulling towards spirituality is weak, it will distract you with worldly entertainment. If your pull for spirituality is strong and it's unavoidable, then it will distract you with nothing. With a spirituality that doesn't affect the underlying structures, that keeps you entertained, learning this, learning that, growing, enhancing your ego and all these structures, making them more sophisticated. It doesn't matter. So if you're distracting, going here and there in worldly terms, or if you're just depressed in a corner, you're still afflicted, engaged, even depressed, because it is a kind of a clarity state, but you're so fragile towards it that it doesn't make a difference, the clarity that it has. But you're not investing in liberation, so it's fine. And if you're going around here and there, learning this method, this and that, but not going deep enough, good, it doesn't matter, because you're not investing in liberation. You're just reshaping your delusion. That's fine. And for this living entity, in some cultures called Maya, for example, what matters is that you're distracted, that time is not being used for serious spiritual practice. And for serious spiritual practice, well, for sure that you're already 100% into it. And you're trying to improve the consciousness about those 100%. So the big message of that post is, where are you using your time? Understand that whatever you're giving importance, besides liberation, is there just to distract you, to entertain you. It doesn't matter how painful it is for you to accept it, because that's only determined by the level of attachments that you entertain, the fragility that you apparently have. And transcending this, because from certain ones, oh, so okay, so forget about everything, just dedicating that. Yes, but it has to be through love, through this passion, not through greed. The way you have thought about your life prior to the knowledge of the concept of liberation, you have struggled, more or less, depends on your thirst, of course, to have those conditions you have. And those conditions were about previous goals, previous to liberation. So if liberation comes and it's not just a whim, the cherry on top of the existing cake, the magic cherry that will make that cake wonderful, then these structures, you will struggle to change them, to make them more suitable. So time is very precious to be wasted on mere survival. It doesn't matter if it is, how do you say this, a luxurious survival, or if it is a petty survival, a simple survival. That's not using life, it is wasting it. And for the real seekers, there's always a way available. It may take time, and that time depends on the sincerity. Because sometimes you say, oh, you always say, oh, I'm sincere. Until you get confronted with other things, because you may be sincere, but eventually you will find those things that you're not willing to go through, despite your sincerity. And that in spiritual terms is not sincerity. Because in your prayers, you never say, oh, I want liberation, but I have conditions. That's not what you usually say. You usually want the highest, and you say you're willing to give everything for that. But then in practical terms, it's not usually that way. but it's a direction that needs to be conquered. And time is precious, and that's where it should be used. All the rest, all the rest is just excuses to maintain inertia. Is this word in English good? To maintain, to justify remaining as you are. Okay. So if there's no more questions, then we will end it for today. My friend, I will answer your question now. It's just a clarification, more or less. So your first question was about meditation, and if you could learn it, come and learn it with me. And then you said you want to teach spirituality. And then you said you need a deity. So these kinds of questions I don't usually answer because, well, there's the one who wants to teach spirituality and the one who wants freedom. And this is the one I'm interested in. So the rest is just the rest. And it doesn't take very far. These days it is very common for people to pursue a spiritual occupation, a spiritual professional occupation. But that's just, well, it's the new tomorrow. The new tomorrow. The world is going through a change. It is changing of values. It is changing a lot of things. And the business people of tomorrow will underlie in a more spiritual, how do you say this? With a more spiritual background, in more spiritual circumstances. And that has nothing to do with spirituality. Concerning liberation. Because if you're looking at spirituality as a way of life, this maybe here in the West it's more weak, but still there's religion. Those things are there. Even in the East, in India, for example, spirituality is a part of daily life, and that doesn't mean they are seeking liberation. So in what liberation is concerned, teaching may be present, but it's present only by guidance. Guidance says so, not by personal desires. In very specific contexts. But if it is from desires, this is usually just a part of their delusion. And it is something to make you waste time. And like I said previously, some time ago, that I spoke, and we are preparing this, we will have here retreats of meditation with Kriya and Mantra. These will be 10 days, 12 days total, with 10 hours a day of practice, intense practice, in silence. And this will be open for those who are looking, want to have a more serious experience so that they can bring it to their lives. And this will be available. But for me teaching directly, this is just for those who are seeking liberation, nothing else. Okay. So for today, that's it. Next satsang will be, it won't. Probably just Wednesday. Probably. If it will be possible to make it sooner, we will, but probably just in the next Wednesday. Till then, make the best use of your time. Watch.